Alright everyone, welcome along. Week 9. So we've looked at maps, haven't we? And we've kind of uncovered or got our heads around the idea of having a data layer and a reference layer as to how maps work. Okay, but what I want you to remember is that that's not the only layering that you need to be thinking about, especially as you start to build up your report content. So as we look at our New York water tower data set, we need to be thinking about consumption, really, and how people are going to consume the report content that we're building. In particular, one of the things that you need to get right in your Power BI reports is the layers that the report will have. What do I mean by that? Let's flip on our one into PowerPoint, I think this time, and have a look and see if I can explain a little bit about what I mean before we head into the service. Alright, so here we are, PowerPoint. Favourite tool. So what I wanted to really cover was this idea, okay, that in your Power BI report content, what you're going to find is that you have layers, okay? So your report that we talked about, and in this case even better, we've got a map to start with. So we've already got the map, which is layers. And then on the layer, if you hover in the right place, it shows a tooltip. So it's like a layer above, isn't it? It's bringing you up to this, that's how I always think them anyway, like something else on top of it, so you can get more information out, right? It's all about making your content efficient and effective to have a look at quickly and easily. Okay? So being able to see, some more information about it. Okay. In this case, we've got it set up so if I was to click on a location, it makes the visual. Let's get the pen. Okay. So it highlights. Click there to view Newcastle upon Tyne. So you can see we're looking at Newcastle upon Tyne there. But you can also see you've got a right click and a drill through as well for it. Okay. So the drill through is kind of like, that's the layer down, isn't it? So you've kind of got this structure that Power BI has, okay, where you've got visuals that can appear above your visuals, so your tooltips, and you've also got the idea of visuals that can appear below your visuals, like your drill throughs or your drill downs. And together, that makes it for a really efficient and intuitive way of presenting your data, okay? But you have to think about it, because at times when you're just throwing your visuals together and it goes, look, the visual looks amazing. If the tooltip isn't right, it's a real detractor from your report. So let's have a look. Let's head on over into the Power BI service and see if we can make a little bit more sense out of this and see it in action. All right, so here we are in Power BI, right? The Power BI service for this one. Right, and I'm in edit the screen here, okay, so well, let's just edit it in the service and have a look-see and see if it makes sense. Okay, so what we've got here is another map, right, and it's kind of a map sort of thing we're used to seeing, isn't it? Kind of New York City, where all the water towers are, everything's looking good, we can pick and choose which area or the time frame we want to look at, all those kind of things that we want. So it's pretty good. Okay, you can see this is one of the ones that isn't refreshing, right? This was an older version. Okay, but I thought I wanted to do this here because I wanted to cover a few things without interfering with what we're doing. So what we've got here is the default, isn't it? So if I hover over it, it's going to show me this. And I go, oh, right, okay, latitude, longitude. That doesn't make any sense, right? And this idiot was on YouTube last week saying, use latitude and longitude. But I do that, and it just makes it look like this. It's not pretty. It's not nice. It's not something my customers can understand, right? What does that mean? What is latitude 40.8248 by whatever, right? It's not going to make a blind bit of sense to us, right? So if I right click, I can show I've got a drill through on it, so I can see a location report, and it shows me a bit more information about the building in question, how its tests have gone, all that kind of thing, all the goodness that I'd be really looking for, right? Let's come back out of there. So that's the drill down, isn't it? So suddenly I've got this ability to go from like the mass piece I'm seeing or exploring. So I could pick on the Bronx, say, and say, well, let's look at the Bronx, what's happening there, and hover over and see, oh, we've got this place here. Let me go in and let's drill through on here and let's go down and see that next level down. So we'll drill down to that next level down. And okay, I can do that. I can kind of follow that. But that doesn't help me when I'm trying to go, well, what am I looking at to figure it out? Okay. And that's where the tooltips come in. Okay. So in this one, we don't really have a tooltip here, do we? So if we zoom in, right, we can see when we hover over anything, it gives us latitude, longitude and stuff. Not very helpful. If I go all the way over to here, right, let's pick that first, okay? And I pick the little formatting thing, and we want the general formatting. Under general formatting, so you've got tooltips. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this from default to a report page. And I've built one already because that's the way I roll, right? Just page one, because I didn't give it anything special. Okay. And that is now, means that when we hover over, it shows us some information. It's not much, right? I haven't built a particularly good tooltip for it. But you can see almost immediately we could get more information from it. So we could be putting a map in, we could be putting street information, we could be putting all sorts of information on here to make it a more useful report. And in fact, if we go through to the report I took the original screenshot for, okay, here, so if we hover over Newcastle upon Tyne, let's zoom in a bit, hover over Newcastle upon Tyne, see it gives us a summary. This many businesses, this many have got scores of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, I can click on that, and that then gives me the options of a drill through. So I've got the option I can click, I put a button in to do it, because some people find right click, it's not intuitive, I get it, I'm not going to be critical. So if I click on that, it takes me further to a map that's actually got every location plotted. Right. Checked this earlier, and there's some which really aren't in the right location. Depends on the local authority that you are, to be honest. But if we come in here and we pick one here, we can see it's got another tooltip. It's a tooltip showing a bit more of a map in terms of where it is. But if you think, if we were zoomed right out, looking at it here, you go, well, actually, where is it? One stop. All right, it's a 5-star, right, assessed in 2017. There it is, right? I can kind of figure out a little bit more information about where it would be. And we could do more with these maps. We could set them to be zoomed in more. I've left them by default. I just felt that was right. You could equally turn that and have another drill through to go down to a specific page about that shop if we wanted to. That'd be the sort of thing that Google or Microsoft Bing would do in terms of, we're looking at our maps. What's going on? Here's the restaurant. Everything's great. Okay. You've got that concept though, haven't you? Now suddenly there's this idea of layers, right? Being able to say, right, rather than just displaying that, but actually display some meaningful information on it, goes a long way, okay? A long way. So always be aware that when you're building your visuals, think about the multiple layers that you have, and remember that you can have tooltips on your charts as well, right? Maps, they work really well, and it's definitely something I always put on maps, but anything can have a tooltip on it, including your tables and your matrices that you build. So potentially you can actually really help use anything to help your consumer layer actually really explore the data and find out more about what's going on, to bring their own insights to the data and say, well, I reckon this, and be able to explore it. I reckon like Middlesbrough doesn't have very good food, or River Tees, right? The reality is there's 4 restaurants and one of them's not particularly good, I think, if we went into it, yeah. There's a 3 and a 2. No, there's a 3, sorry. 3 and a 4, okay? So it's not a representative sample. There's obviously something happening here. It's a very small area of authority just because of what it is. But the point is made, isn't it? We can actually start to explore and understand. And because of the ability to quickly get down to that level, I can really get more out of that data than I would anywhere else. So if I was to be presented with this as a table, and let's not forget, this looking as a table, it's not pretty. So if we showed it as a table, and I went, right, here you go. I'm not going to really figure much out, am I? Even if we added the average food hygiene rating there, it's not bringing much to the table. So maps are important, layers are important, being able to think through what you're building, how you're going to explore your data and allow your consumers to explore your data is everything. What do you reckon then? The layering that appears when you start to build up reports along the lines of, I'm going to have a tooltip here that's going to show this information, right? What are we going to pick and choose on there? So I think in the past I've done, I can't remember if I've done it in here or where it was. I'm trying to think where it was. We've done it where we can put a border around the tooltip. So we actually just use like a box underneath the tooltip. And that border was shaded based on a KPI. So is it as good, is it bad? Right? Is a trend going in the right direction? You could put trend lines on it. So you've got like, you might have a KPI table that's showing you this is the KPI, but you could put the last 5 results on it when you hover over it. Like, the options are kind of infinite. And I know I'm never going to think of them all. You're going to think of some that I'd never think of. Okay? And it's always impressive seeing the things that people come out with from their tooltips and even from their drill downs, as to just how much value add you can put in place. But now we're starting to get our heads around this. Maybe we should be looking at some of the practicalities for next week and starting to look at exactly what we need to push into our Power BI report pack for next week, so that we can really turn the corner on what goes into the data layers of Power BI and actually make our New York water tower data something that's really, that we should all be proud of, well, that I can be proud of, and that, you know, well, I hope you'll be like, oh, he knows what he's doing, right? Sounds a bit desperate there, like, doesn't it? But you know the point. So I hope you'll have a great week. Come back at the weekend, see what the extras is about. Stay safe, take care, ta-da.